Hello and welcome to the month of love on the Standpoint. Today we are talking about love and much more about love. Listen, our topic for today is the church, marriage, and sex. Yes, you heard me right. The church, marriage, and sex. And please, if you don't want your children to hear about sex today, please don't let them watch it. This program is 18 years and above. And if you're one of those who get upset when you hear people talk about sex on TV, please don't watch it. But if you're willing to learn and understand that sex plays a major role in marriage, and due to sex, some marriages are breaking down, then please sit and listen. For you are going to hear from a woman of God, yes, a pastor who has written a book on sex, having sex and having it the right way. Today, you are in for a show. You are in for education. You are in for enlightenment. You are in to understand that sin does not include sex in marriage. Welcome to the Standpoint. I'd like to say thank you to GTP for my cloth. My dress was made for me by Brie Redra, the one and only Brie Redra. Thank you so much to her. And my bone straight hair by Inshilo GH or Inshilo Gallery. Thank you so much to you, Inshilo, for me too. I wear some bone straight hair. And my makeup, as always, by @IAM_J Claude, the one and only. You know what I mean, Joe? You follow him on Instagram, on Twitter. He's not too good on Facebook, so you follow him on Instagram and book him for all events, and he'll sort you out. We take a break. When we come back, we are talking sex in marriage and the right way. In fact, she said there's something called what? Sextometer or something like that. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Standpoint. Well, yes, today we are talking about sex, and a lot more about sex in marriage. The church, marriage, and sex. And this is a book written by a reverend minister, a lady pastor. And the title is The Beauty of Sex, Lady Reverend Barbara Jirako, Mrs. Styles and Positions, a must-have book for every Christian married couple. Let me say thank you to our sponsors. That's GTP, still timeless. Next week is Valentine's Day, and yes, this year it falls on a Sunday, so we expect lots of love to go around. Get your loved ones, a piece or two pieces, 3, what have you, of GTP cloth for this Valentine. They have different designs, beautiful designs with lots of red in it. So go get yourself some fabrics from GTP for your loved ones. Also, Easter run balloons and accessories, everything balloons and accessories. Organize something. Is it a surprise you want to have for your loved one? Is it you want to celebrate them? Contact Esteron Balloons and Accessories, everything balloons and accessories. They've got you covered. Thank you so much to them. Good to have you on the Standpoint, Reverend.
Thank you so much, Ohinere. I'm so happy
Thank you for traveling all the way from Takrady to be here.
Yeah, it was worth coming. And I was excited to see you,
Reverend, why sex?
Why not sex?
Okay, it has started. You are a lady pastor, okay?
Yes.
Now, this is a topic that many pastors or churches stay away from. Mm-hmm. But you not just talk about it. You've written a book about it with illustrations, positions. What made you decide to come up with a book?
Thank you so much. I'm going to tell you the reason why. Very early in my life, I married.
Okay.
Oblivious to the details and everything that has to do with marriage. I didn't understand it. And my marriage broke when I was that young. Mm-hmm. Now, when I came out, and in fact, I'm saying this today laughing, but it was a near-death experience, to see and watch the man just keep going and going and all kinds of things happening. I almost died. And I realized that one of the main things that didn't go well in my first marriage as a young girl, young Christian girl, was ignorance when it comes to even what marriage is all about. You know, the wedding is different. Right. The ceremony is different. And everybody says, oh, get married, get married. But there is very little education. So when you enter into the institution called marriage,
for counseling,
you go through counseling. And that is where, as a pastor, I would say, to a large extent, we are failing or we have failed as a church. And God should help every pastor that is listening. Because when you go through counseling and when it comes to the area called sex, and there are a lot of cultural barriers to the subject and the topic. And so you cannot teach the youth well, and they don't know what to expect. And, you know, they enter into the union and they realize that, hey, what is this that I'm seeing? Every time the man wants to have sex, the man wants to make love. I'm not prepared psychologically, I'm not ready. And the man is also thinking, why? You can't be a bluff. After I have paid so much money to bring you home, then I'm going to go get it out there. And so when my young early marriage broke, I sat down, assessed the situation, and realized that sex was one of the major things that didn't go well because of lack of education, which is still today a problem. And also, I also came to the realization that the subject sex is a very difficult subject to discuss because culturally, it isn't something that you can easily talk about. Though everybody practices sex. And I always say that it's two things. You are either having sex now as I am talking, or you will have sex later. That is if you are not married and you are yet to marry. Right. Now, your preparation is what is going to make you stay in the marriage. Because believe you me, Ohinere, sex is like 80% of the marriage. And we are not prepared adequately for this. And another thing I will say also is that when you marry, it is said it is to be for life, till death do us part. What would you two be doing in the house till death do you part? You will be having sex often. So what kind of sex will you be having? Are there styles? Are there different types of sex? I mean, what is going to happen all this while? And this is one area we don't teach, we don't talk about because culture sometimes is a barrier. When that happened to me, it was my wake-up call. And I said, I am going to take this thing up, this subject up, and especially for the upcoming youth who are preparing to marry, and for those who are already married, including pastors, including, married men, married women, who are struggling. I'm going to stand out as a woman of God ordained to teach it because it must come from the pulpit and we must learn it well. So we would enjoy marriages right here on earth. Why? Because there is no marriage in heaven. There is only marriage here on earth. And so what it means is that there is no sex in heaven. Let me put it bluntly like that. And so if it is on earth that we are going to marry and ultimately have sex, talking from the Christian viewpoint, all right, then it means that we would have to learn how to do it. It is an art. It is a skill. It must be acquired. It doesn't drop like manna. That is why we are where we are today.
Hey, I don't even know what next to ask.
I know.
I don't even know what next to ask. But how was the reception when you started talking about sex as an ordained woman of God, an ordained pastor who pastors a church?
Churches, actually.
Churches, okay, to say. Who pastors churches? How many churches do you have now?
At the moment, we have close to 20-something branches, home and abroad.
I don't know what to ask next. Yeah. But what was the reception?
Oh, I would tell you frankly that the reception is like what we will get after this program. You're going to have people who have always been, hypocritical about the subject. You're going to have people who are going to appreciate, the fact that, you have brought this, because what you have done today is going to help a lot of homes, a lot of men, a lot of women, a lot of married men and women. And let me tell you something, marriage cuts across religion. That is one area that you can minister to everybody. Why? Because the main thing in marriage is not the food you eat. Then every man can buy food from somewhere. And every woman can get whatever they want, food from somewhere. But it is one thing. It is the sexual act. And so for the Christian, you commit to one person for the rest of your life to want to have sex with them. All right? And so
okay, let me ask you this. Is this biblical?
Yes, it's biblical. It says that, and a man will leave, the mother and father, and you will cling to your wife. It didn't say wives. And so, there is the Muslims have their laws when it comes to marriage. And then also we have I did African traditional religion in sixth form. Okay. And so we have our traditions also in our culture that would permit you, the marriages that are done or conducted, within the families, what we call engagement. It's actually not engagement, it's marriage. Yeah. And so when we look at that, then we can digress a little bit. But since the subject is on the church and with marriage and with sex, then I'm thinking that you want us to look at it today from the Christian perspective, because I am a pastor. But yes, even with that or with this, it's still going to be a blessing. It'll cut across because, like I said, whether you're a Muslim, whether you are a traditionalist, whether you are a Hindu, whether you are a Christian, the moment you marry someone, per the culture and what the society allows and sees to be marriage and is acceptable by that society, one thing cuts across sex.
One thing cuts across sex.
Let me add this then. Okay. Yes, so not everybody received me when I started talking about this. Earlier on, so answering the question now, earlier on, it was difficult. You would have pastors who would call me and go like, Lady Reverend, why are you talking about sex like that? And I'll go like, how am I supposed to talk about it? I'm talking about it, how it's supposed to be, have been talked about from the pulpit in church. Because many married couples are unhappy in our churches. They are bruising, they are crying, and we are all living one big fat lie. So it's time for us to talk about it because sex is a big deal.
Sex is a big deal. Let me take a break. When we come back, we'll get deep into it because you made a comment about we are not having sex the right way. Is there any specific way? Christians, a lot of Christians talk about, the missionary way. What is acceptable when it comes to sex in marriage? What is permissible and is there anything that is not permissible, when it comes to sex? But, well, are you shocked yet? No, you don't be shocked yet. Sit down, Eric, because there's more to come, okay? There's more to come. Well, let me say thank you to our supporters. That's Awake Purified Mineral Water and Royal Drinks by Casa Preco Company Limited. Kodam's Gift and Stationery. Next week is Valentine's Day. Man, woman, go get your Valentine cards and gifts and, all the lovely things and the wines and everything from them. They are at Cowlin. Thank you to Auntie Vera, House of Food. Yes, that's special Valentine for dinner you want to do. Just don't cook this time, woman. Just, order. We are two fancies who have met today, more, Thank you to Yep Cleaning Services. And of course, our website, www.thestandpoint.com.gh, is powered by Dream Over. We take a break. When we come back, we'll get into details. Welcome back to The Standpoint. Yes, a lot going on behind the scenes. Welcome back today. You know how when we talk about behind the scenes, everybody gills and excited, but then nobody wants it to be talked about in the open, Well, unfortunately or fortunately, today we are talking about it in the open. Again, I say thank you to GTP for my cloth. My dress was made for me by Brie Redwa. Thank you so much to her. My hair, my bone straight hair, by Inshallah GH, or Inshallah Gallery. And then, of course, my face bit makeup by @IAM_J Claude. Lady Reverend.
I did hear. With my
So you're having a lot of sex.
Oh, I am enjoying my sex life. I hope you are too. It's very important because I'm going to see Nana.
The matter then, come make hot. But you know, you talked about, you know, sex being a major issue in a lot of marriages.
Yep.
In Christian marriages, sometimes even in the homes of pastors. Is there any aspect of sex that is a taboo?
Well, I would say with the word of God, what is spelled out in Scripture, that Bible frowns on, you know, if you are a Christian, is the anal sex. Apart from that, I don't know anything about sex that should be a taboo. Number one, let me say this, that I want to correct the mindsets of everybody that is watching, especially for the up and coming, yet to marry,
right,
that sex is beautiful. Let me emphasize this again. Sex is beautiful. Sex is not ugly. Our mothers and fathers should have taught us this. We should have learned it from the right places. Well, if our parents forgot to teach us this, then the next place for Christians should have been the church. The church should be able to teach it and prepare. Many people have gone through a lot and are still going through a lot with regards to the area and the subject sex. Because of the secrecy, we are too spooky and mystical about the subject. And so I would say this to us, that sex is beautiful, number one. Number two, God himself created sex, not the devil. So we want to do a little Romans chapter 12, 1 and 2, renewing our mindset. Sex is beautiful. God himself created sex. And let me also say this, number three. Sex is not about scoring 10 out of 10 points.
How do you mean?
Sex is not about proving to your partner that I am the best. You know, I got balls when it comes to love making. You know, it's not about scoring those points. It's supposed to be enjoyed by both. There is the fun aspect to it. And what it means is that then the subject becomes a real subject of study. So then the Bible says that for lack of knowledge, we perish. And perishing does not necessarily mean that physically dying. But you can be in pain and you'll be in tears. You can be very successful when it comes to your field of work academically. You can be a very good doctor. You can be a very good lawyer. You can be a very good pastor. You can be a very good engineer. You can be very rich, have a lot of money, and yet become very unhappy when it comes to the sexual intercourse you are having with your spouse at home. Why? Because knowledge is not there. This is an area, it's a major area everybody must learn. It's about time I think the government should even look at seriously inculcating this subject. I mean, seriously teaching it in school the right way. Because if parents are failing to talk about it because of cultural barriers, and then the church also, for some reason, it's culture. We feel very insecure, or maybe it makes people feel when you talk about the subject, or I say. Now, as I was saying, here with them. You see, the problem is this. I think our parents are afraid to talk about the subject because they don't know how to do it, because their parent didn't tell them, their parents' parent didn't talk about it, culture. And then also, the church wouldn't talk about it because I don't know whether it makes pastors, please, when you talk about sex, it doesn't mean you are not holy. There is this thing that when you talk about it, it's a dirty subject. I said sex is beautiful. And God created sex. I will drum it again in everybody's mind. Sex to the youth. Sex is beautiful. And also, it is God himself that created sex. It's not the devil. Now, what should happen is that when we talk about it as pastors or as parents or the teachers in the school talk about it, after you have taught it, then now you bring the precautionary measures. and you help the young adults to understand why you cannot have sex at this time. Because if somebody is taking care of you, paying your fees, you don't have a house of your own, you cannot, provide for yourself, and you're going to impregnate somebody, then it's going to be a burden on you. You must give reasons. We should stop making everything too spiritual, and God is going to punish you, and God, give the person the reasons. Let them use their minds to be able to assess their lives and where they want to go. Then now they will know, okay, now I've learned that it is God that it's not dirty. So when young women marry, we won't have the problems you're having. Many husbands are chasing other women. They are chasing other ladies to have fulfillment sexually because we didn't prepare the young lady.
But in the same way, some women are also seeking sexual fulfillment outside because they are not being fulfilled by their husbands. And most of the time, I know they talk about, when a man is cheating, then they said, oh, the wife is not. But the thing is, there are lots of women who don't also get sexual satisfaction. Their husbands don't even know how to touch them right.
Yes.
Their husbands don't even know how to satisfy them. There are women who have never had orgasm.
What is orgasm? We are talking about orgasm. They haven't even enjoyed foreplay. You are thinking orgasm. You see? I'm saying this, that's what is bringing us. It's time. It's time. Maybe this topic and this subject has been downplayed for a long time. But hey, people, it's time for us to wake up. Please, let us be real.
You mentioned foreplay and how to get the couples to enjoy sex. For most people, it's a time no day. And then they are gone.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. And so, I don't know which one of them you want me to learn.
And also, we are talking about foreplay.
And I want to talk about
entails
foreplay. Hey, foreplay includes everything that would set the atmosphere and the woman, both the woman and the man, but most of the time it's the woman that needs much of the foreplay to be in the mood to give her best. Let me say this. Most men have sex. They don't make love.
What's the difference?
Good. The difference is that the moment they have an erection, they look for their wives or whomever they ought to release. Go and jump on them, release, away. It is sex, it's not lovemaking. Now, this is the problem. When you have a wife, then sometimes you will see the husbands complaining that, oh, my wife doesn't, and yes, oh, you're in a trend. Oh, nime yet. Oh, my enchro. Ego, I set it in. Me a bema. Beme bia ofa oyirea. During the act of lovemaking, your wife does not invite you for the actual sexual penetration, and you come. You have failed. Let me say it again before you even ask me.
I need clarification.
Let me say it again. During foreplay, if you are, I'm teaching you this as a pastor. I want you everywhere to give the reference. She's a pastor. She's teaching it. It's long overdue. We need to start doing it right. When you are having sex with your wife as a man, you need to be, as a son, there should be the arousal. As a son, when you're no who ba. What you say? When the woman is ready, she is all set in that conducive atmosphere. It should be the woman that should invite you. That now, I think I have reached that height that I want us to climax. And that is where the actual sexual penetration takes place. If you are a husband and all the time you force yourself into somebody's kingdom without, if you push the bodyguards away, even when they are stopping you, without an invitation, you are failing. You need to think about how the woman feels. You need to know which spots of your wife, takes. And you need to humble yourself to learn. Sex is not about your profession. It's not about your money. Sex is an act that happens between two people. How come you always want to have your way and get up and go? And you tell everybody that, oh, I am a man. It is only your wife that can let you know if you are a real man. And if your wife is not giving you that accolades, and if your wife is not praising you for every sexual act, go back home and ask her why.
which they will not do anyway.
Or some do.
Which to go home and go and ask
some do. Some
why
do.
are you not?
Some do. Some actually do that. It's not I mean, since I took the subject sex seriously concerning marriages, I've had counseling where you can, it's ignorance. Most people don't know. You see, culturally, we are made to feel that even when it comes to empemwagro and all that. But when it's not going well and the man is not, so because the woman is not happy. Now let me tell husbands the reason why most wives will give you the missionary style. You know the missionary style. I call it the wawa board style. Wawa board, no movements. Medaho, beyawaze, na soroko. It's because ask her, what should I do? Which part of your body should I touch? Should I hold? Are you getting it? You won't get the best. Every woman can give you every wife can give you great satisfaction when it comes to sex. But if you don't approach the woman well, we learn. There are 3 types of sex.
Okay.
That must exist in every. Well, we're going to talk about this. I pray time will permit us, but maybe we will hold a conference and do it. There are 3 types of sex that must exist in every marriage. We have pleasurable sex, that is sex for pleasure. Then we have exciting sex, that is sex for excitement, and that is where the sex styles and the book comes in. And then we have also dutiful sex, that is sex as a duty. Now, unfortunately, mostly we experience dutiful sex without pleasurable sex, without exciting sex. Now, sex as a duty is where both the husband and the man and the wife would have to agree and understand from time to time when one person is not in the mood, but the other person really needs help to be relieved of that sexual urge. And so when that person is horny, you need to be able to what? Remember that you are the only person that this person wants to stay true to you. And so I must help the person by giving in, vice versa. That is sex for a duty. And so at that point, you need to be reasonable to help each other out. Then we have sex for pleasure.
On that note, let me take a break before we get down to business. Right. Well, let me say thank you to our sponsor, GTP, and of course, Esron Balloons and Accessories. Valentine's Day is next week, and make sure you get your loved ones fabrics from cloth, beautiful cloth from GTP, and of course, balloons and accessories from, Esron Balloons and Accessories. Balloons are for all occasions, and they've got all it takes to set up that romantic, atmosphere at home, at the gardens, wherever it is that you want to, treat your loved ones to a romantic time during this Valentine's Day. We take a break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion. Welcome back to The Standpoint. Again, we say thank you to all our supporters. Awake Purified Mineral Water, Royal Drinks by Casapreco Company Limited, Yup Cleaning Services, House of Food, Antivera and the team. Thank you so much. Kodam's Gift and Stationery. Valentine's Day is coming. I tell you, go get your beautiful Valentine's Day cards and presents and wines and mugs and all the beautiful souvenirs from there. Remember, this program is also aired on 6 platforms. We stream on Facebook, the Standpoint Facebook page, on Sundays at 8 p.m. and on the same Sunday, 8 p.m., YouTube and our website, www.thestandpoint.com, thestandpoint.com.gh, powered by Dream Oval. Asafo.
Mommy.
So, are you saying that sex is a make or break when it comes to marriage?
You don't even have to say it's a make or break. Sex will break you or make you in your marriage. You know that I'm saying? That is the reality. But
there's some couples who are not sexual. They're okay. They don't.
They are living in denial. Maybe they fought. And there's some people, they would not break, the marriage wouldn't end because of what society would say, but they are just stuck in there. You know, as a insure tab baby bakuna airborne. And so, but there is a way out. You see, it starts with a mindset shift. You know, the first thing is to accept that this area, you know, Valentine's Day is just next Sunday.
Yeah.
And so it brings us to, I talked about the 3 types of sex. That we have sex for duty and then for pleasure and excitement. No. And so when we look at sex for pleasure, that is where normally, I come back to husbands. You know, I think that it's about time that husbands also do things that would make the woman want to what? Make love with them. How do I mean? They be a game no a go down. They be a bedroom. The worst part is when they want to off the lights. I don't get it. You are offing the light. One casa now my whole light off. Why? I don't understand. Let me say it again. Sex is beautiful. Sex is not ugly. God himself created sex and it's not the devil. And so if it is sex for pleasure, please once a while, take the woman out. The woman takes care of you, the kids, the home. There are no cleaning, no go up and down, no paper form, no shame color. I know a bread. So in the night, what you need from her, you are not able to get the best out of the woman. So once a while, change the atmosphere. Take the woman to some exotic place. It shouldn't be too an expensive a place. I mean, change the environment small. Now only in baby nice. So now I want ice cream. Something nice for the woman. Then in the night, when you come as a man, what a difference? Are you getting it? So sex is not supposed to be done only at the bedroom. You can have it in the shower, have it at the living room, have it anywhere. Both of you, it makes you what? Comfortable. Then we have the exciting sex, which brings this book into the picture. Yeah. Now, after you've taken the woman, if you are going to stay with a man or with a woman for many years, okay, throughout your life, the one thing you need to understand is that for those many years, you're supposed to be making love. Don't have sex, make love. And making love includes arousal, preparation, foreplay, understanding, and all that. Now, if you are going to be making love to sustain your relationship, one thing is important. Respect the man's body throughout the different stages of the man's life. And respect the woman's body throughout the different stages of the what? Woman's life. You need to get to the place where you regard the woman that when I saw her, she was a youth. Her breasts were standing. And yes, it is breasts, and they were standing. Now, the woman has made you a father, and you are so happy you celebrate Father's Day. But it also goes with certain costs. Sometimes you will see a protruding belly. Sometimes you will realize that the breast, it is falling. That is not the time for you to say that now. I was doing a marriage counseling to a couple, and in fact, I wasn't amused with the man. The wife was passing, and the man just went like, moo. Hey, what do you mean? This is below the belt, excuse me.
Of course.
You know, what is the meaning of moo? Who looks like the cow there? Was it I, the counselor, or who? Are you getting it? And so certain derogatory statements don't even put a particular partner in the mood to want to ever, you know, let you see. There are some women that will never let you see the full nakedness of theirs because you are quick to judge, point fingers, and compare. It is wrong. If you are doing that in your marriage, stop it. Are you getting it? So it brings all these little things that we don't think are a contributing factor why sometimes your spouse may not want you to even touch them. It's because you are doing things you don't know that is bringing you all of those ripple the effects. You are getting.
It's breaking the woman's confidence and everything.
Yes. Yeah. And so another thing is the sex styles. How much of the sex styles do you know? Do you learn?
Is oral sex allowed in Christian marriage?
All right, so let me, just yesterday, I was with one father and mother, pastors. You know, we went to teach at the Bible school. I teach marriage and relationship in the Bible school, obviously. And we were coming. I joined them in their vehicle.
I'm sure a lot of people like your class, eh?
A lot. Oh, it's a
they'll
fun
come.
class. It's a fun
I can
class.
imagine.
And why is it a fun class? Because sex is a big deal. We should start teaching it. So on our way, the mother figure just asked me, said, no, she is also a counselor. So she went like, Lady Reverend, what do you say about oral sex? Now, this is a gray area. I always call there are gray areas when it comes to marriage. It's a gray area. And I told her simply this, that what my eyes is seeing in the Bible is what I will talk about. Okay, that is concerning the anal sex, right? But apart from that, I explained to her that the Bible says that when two people marry, they become one flesh. So now, let me ask you a question. If we are one flesh, and you can look at me as a husband or as a wife and give me a kiss to the mouth, I want to ask a question. Where in the Bible does it say that the kissing, it should be mouth to mouth, tongue to tongue, exchange of salivas? Who invented that? Because if you ask me, then I would say that the mouth is supposed to be for talking like we are doing and for eating and drinking water. But some way, somehow, married couples, we have found out that it is such a beautiful act to express love by doing that, because we are supposed to be one flesh. Now, if the mouth is one flesh and the nose is one flesh, the hand is one flesh, please, all your private parts, your organs, they are all what? One flesh. And so, whatever anybody decides to do with their spouse in the marriage, as long as both of you are comfortable. And that is where true love comes in. Because love is patience and is kind. And so you cannot force what you believe on the other because you feel it's your right. And if you don't do it, I will go. Now, I won't say or that's it. Because it's a form of communication. And both of you must come to terms that, okay, we want to do this. Okay. So if the husband wants to do it, perform oral sex on the wife, and the wife is uncomfortable, please, patience with her. And then no crampo obana will say, what trend or dog? And you have been lambastina cansem, a guna bim. We are I mean, don't use those words on your wife. Please, if you are a husband, don't do that. Vice versa. If the husband is not comfortable and the wife you want, please be patient. But when both of you are comfortable, please, you are one flesh. That was my stand. But it's a gray area, and you need to respect everybody. And some people will say, no, I don't want to do it. I respect you. Some people will say, well, between me and my spouse, we are comfortable with it. Well, I mean, it's your right. So, but this is an area I don't think I would say specifically that do or don't do. Yeah.
Okay. It's up to them. Okay. Up to you as now, in conclusion, this book is on sex styles.
The beauty of sex.
The beauty of sex styles, okay.
Exciting sex.
Exciting style. Please, you need to get the book to see. I can't show it to you. Wallahi. I can't show it to you. But what are some of the sex styles that you recommend for married couples?
The one that suits your body type. So you need to get a book. You know, there are body types. And there are certain styles that would go well for a couple that would not go well for another couple. These are 100 sex styles and positions.
Crouching and balancing. There's floor positions. The flamingo. Getting started by sucking.
What? I can't tell.
Fantasies on the side. Fellatio position. Okay. You need to get copies of the book. You need to get your book, to read and, But bottom line, I get the impression you're on a mission to make sure that couples enjoy their marriages when it comes to sex. Of course, sex is not the only reason marriages are breaking down. There are so many other things. There's the abuse, there is the infidelity, there is irresponsibility. But then if it is lack of the enjoyment of sex, then you're on a mission to make sure that marriages enjoy good sex. Yeah. Now, I know Valentine's Day, you're having a program, Intercredit. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Well, it's basically, normally during Valentine's Day, It's always a problem when it's Valentine's Day because you will have a lot of invitations from different places, and sometimes I have to find a way to be here for some time and then dash and be here and be there. But at our place, at our church, normally...
What's the name of your church? I haven't mentioned, sorry.
That's okay. Tabernacle of Praise Chapel International. In short, Top Chapel.
Top Chapel, okay. Yes, okay.
Yeah. So normally we do have a couples dinner.
Okay.
And it gives us the platform to be able to address, I want to find out what are some of the challenges and the difficulties that my own people, sometimes, a lot of invitations take you away from church. And so during that time, no matter what and where I go, I want to be back in church to be able to listen to my congregation and then have a fun time with them. Let's try and do some conflict resolutions in marriages and listen and help out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when are we going to have a conference on sex to help Christian women, pastors' wives, pastors understand that it is okay to enjoy sex in your marriage. It is okay to be very sexual. It is okay to be, lovey-dovey with your husband, to be touchy, to be romantic, to enjoy sex and enjoy it well and have orgasm. I mean, that it's for your own well-being. I mean, having orgasm or multiple orgasm. Well, you said there's a word, sex word.
Sexometer.
Sexometer.
Okay. Yeah, then I think we would have to plan it.
Plan it, okay.
And then let's know how, we have to start from somewhere and see how we can go about it. But I want to correct this. You said, when are we going to have a conference so that the Christian woman can enjoy sex? No. When are we going to have a conference so that the married guy,
the married woman, okay.
Whether you're a Christian, whether you're Muslim, whether... So
it's not just about...
No.
But sometimes, I stress this because I'm a Christian, you're a Christian, and we seem to have a lot of challenge when it comes to Christianity and sex. Christian marriages, I haven't done any statistics, but then the way we are raised in the church, the way we are taught, we don't really feel it's very holy to really wholeheartedly. Some people don't even think that when you are fasting, you can have sex.
Oh, you can. Both of you just have to agree.
Yeah. On that note, please give us your concluding words.
Now, let me just say this, that sex is beautiful. Sex is not ugly. To the young and married person, hear me out. God didn't make a mistake by adding sex to our livelihoods, our lifestyles. And he definitely did not make a mistake by creating our sexual organs. Sex is beautiful, it's not ugly. The big man himself created it. It is not the devil. It is not dirty, okay? When you do it in the right confines, society accepts the relationship, the church accepts and family accepts and you are married. Please, it's a beautiful thing. Let me say this. In heaven, there is no marriage. There is no sex. All you have is now to enjoy your sexual life well. It's time for us to go on a mission of knowledge on this particular subject. And I believe with all my heart that as we plan the conference, I did one in Takrade that says, let's talk about sex in church. It is not a taboo. Okay, I called it the unspoken subject. Let's talk about sex in churches. It's not a taboo. And I think that when we start having these conferences, it will help. My aim is that every husband should be able to enjoy his marriage and his wife so that the temptations that are normally out there, they could be curtailed. And that the woman also will begin to feel fulfilled when it comes to love making because the husband understands the language of the woman. Bible says that dwell with your wives according to knowledge so that they don't block your prayers because they are unhappy with you. Yeah. And so I want to say to you, my darling big sister, that I love you. And I'm happy that you don't feel shy to let us bring this subject up because it is really destroying and making many married couples unhappy. And they don't know whom to talk to about their problems. Everybody is stuck in there. But when they get out to their professional world, they perform. And when they are coming home, many are even afraid to enter their gates because there is a Papa Jata or Mame Jata there. It shouldn't be like that. Marriage is meant to be enjoyed.
Marriage is meant to be enjoyed, and having good sex is part of enjoying marriage. Now, Lady Reverend is also, it's as you know, is an author. She's written this book about the beauty of sex, and she also has a book on forgiveness, forgiveness as well. She has DVDs on, the unspoken subject. That's also about sex, yeah. And she's also on Facebook. What's your social media?
Baba Jirako, or Lady Reverend Baba Jirako.
Lady Reverend Baba Jirako, so you can follow her on Facebook. She does have Facebook Live every now and then. You can listen to her. And yes, as for that conference, we shall have it. Note, I'll be back with a bit of me. I know you've heard me say this a few times, they used to say that what you do not know does not kill you, but these days what you do not know will kill you. And lack of knowledge about sex in marriage is killing most of us. It's killing our relationships. It's killing our marriages. It's bringing a lot of unhappiness in our homes. And it's about time we break the taboo, do away with the pretense that talking about sex is a sin. Today we know that sex was created by God. Sex is it's supposed to be beautiful, to be enjoyed if you're a Christian, if you're a religious person, to be enjoyed by married couples, to be naked before each other and unashamed, to be comfortable in our own skin and enjoy each other's bodies. But sex has become a home breaker these days. Either not enough is being done to make sure the couples enjoy each other, or one is enjoying and leaving the other behind, creating a lot of unhappiness. If you are hungry and you're given food that doesn't satisfy you, it makes you more hungry. Listen, men, it's not just men who can go cheating because they are not getting sex from their wives. Women are also going out because they are not getting satisfaction sexually from their husbands. It's a shame that society all makes it seem as if it's okay for the men to do it. Or it's a shame that as soon as a man is found cheating or being unfaithful, then it's concluded that, his wife is not giving him sex or is not cooking. But hey, do you know that maybe the man is not touching the wife well? It's not doing the right thing. It's not, giving the woman what it takes. Sex is supposed to be enjoyed by both. And you know what I learned today? And I enjoy so much. Sex is not dirty. It's created by God. It's beautiful. It's supposed to be enjoyed. Let's equip our young women with this knowledge. Let us give them the reason why we think they should not engage in sex before marriage. Don't let us demonize sex so much that when they get ready for marriage, it's still in their heads that sex is demonic. Let us not empower our men to feel that as a men, they are the ones who are the sexual animals. And so they go into marriage and pounce on their wives to get their satisfaction. This year, in all our getting things right, let's get sex right. Let's get love making right. Let's get making each other satisfied in our homes. Let's get it right. Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Let's pledge to each other. Married couples. that from this day onwards, we are going to enjoy sex and enjoy it well. I'm a woman with super crazy faith in God. This year I've told you it's mega super crazy faith, but I know God has given us wisdom. Everything beautiful, exciting, wonderful is given to us. Let's explore it, let's enjoy it, and let's make each other happy. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.